As we start our space unit, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the solar system and planets. So these notes would go in your notebook. So the title is Solar System and Planets. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to define what is a solar system. We know it as the planets, but what is the actual definition of a solar system? It is a star, so it has to have a star, which in this solar system, it's the sun. Okay, and all of the objects that orbit the sun. So it's important to remember that a solar system is not just planets. A solar system must include a star. Our solar system has the star in the center, and so then all the planets orbit the sun, but there's also other objects like asteroids and there's different moons that are all included in the solar system. So when you start thinking about the solar system, don't just think planets. Think anything that is in orbit around the sun is included in the solar system. So the next thing is, because planets are in the solar system, let's look at the definition of a planet. Okay, so a planet would be larger than an asteroid most of the time, and so it is a primary celestial, means anything that's in space, okay, body that orbits the sun. Alright, the other thing that you want to think about is that a planet is a sphere. Okay, so we could have put spherical body here. A planet has to be a sphere, and it's going to make sure that it has a full orbit around the sun in order to be considered a planet. Okay, so there's two different types of planets. There's terrestrial planets, and there's gas giants. Okay, so terrestrial planets are solid. Alright, they have rocky crusts, like the outer layer. They have a dense mantle and a dense core. So notice that terrestrial planets have a core, mantle, and crust. So that would help us remember, if you remember in elementary school, that the Earth has three main layers: the core, mantle, and crust. And so terrestrial planets are the ones that are solid. So the opposite of that would be the gas giants are made up of gas. Okay, they are large. So they are larger than the terrestrial planets, and they are less dense than the terrestrial planets. Okay, so your gas giants would be, Jupiter, Saturn, okay, Uranus, and Neptune. Alright, so your terrestrial planets would be Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Okay, so when we're talking about the solar system, alright, we as scientists, we like to know, okay, so if we're on Earth, how far away are we from the sun? How far away is Mercury? Just like we want to know how far away is school from my house, those kinds of things. So when we talk about distances, okay, there's a different measurement when we talk about space. We don't use inches, feet, miles, kilometers. So because the distances are so large. So distances within the solar system are measured in astronomical units. And its abbreviation is AU. Capital A, capital U. Okay? So when we're talking about what is an AU, it would be 149.6 million kilometers. And that is the distance from the center of the Earth to the center of the Sun. So think about it like this, okay? When we are looking at distances, all right, we know Earth. We've studied it. We're here. It's very easy for us to learn about Earth. So it's kind of difficult. You have to have special technology, tools, you know, pictures, things like that. So think about the Sun is here, okay, and the distance between the Sun and Earth, think about that as 149.6 million kilometers. Okay, that equals 1 AU. So instead of having to measure in millions of kilometers, when we measure within the solar system, we use astronomical units. Okay, so when we say 12 inches equals 1 foot, this would be 149.6 million kilometers equals 1 AU, which we could, most of the time we just refer to it as the distance from Earth to the Sun. Okay, so one of those, so as we're measuring, you know, distances from Earth to Neptune or from Earth to Jupiter, we're going, because we always start with Earth most of the time, or the Sun, because those are our main focuses. We look at astronomical units. Okay, so the next video would be about stars and galaxies.